aren't expecting special forces. That's the point, Sergeant.
Transmit the clearance codes for Inferno Squad Chatter, an exclusive look into the Southwest Star Wars Legion community.
Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Inferno Squad Chatter. My name is Colin. I'll be the host for today's episode. Today, joining me, we have Kevin.
Hey.
And then we have a special guest joining the podcast today. We have John Bushfacts Bushman here with us. How's it going, man?
Hey, it's going great. How are you?
Doing awesome. Yeah, so thanks for coming on the show and talking with us today. If you want, there might be a lot of listeners out there who don't know who you are. I know a lot of the Legion community does, but just in case if there are people who don't know who you are, if you want to kind of give a little bit of your background and all that fun stuff, then the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, sure. So my name's John Bushman. I go by Bushfacts. I have been playing Star Wars Legion since the beginning. Back in the day, I used to play a lot of Luke, even before we had Operative Luke. Played a lot of Han Solo. Had some okay success with Rebels. Fought through all the droid wars with the Rebels. I did a lot of early Legion data and analytics and like presenting graphs. And before we had too much structure. Nowadays, like the people that are putting out data are doing it way better than I ever did. But I like to think I was a little bit of a pioneer in that. And then I did the Legion ELO for several years. I created it, maintained it, and gave us a ranking system for a couple years before we had Longshanks. Since then, since 2.6, I have stopped playing Rebels since I can't carry the game on Luke's back as hard. And I've been playing more Republic, especially Yoda lists. Actually, right now, I'm not even playing a Jedi, and it feels weird. I've been playing Triple Saber for the last 6-ish months. Triple Saber Tank in 212th, and it's been a ton of fun. Like mediocre success too. I'm a solid 4-1 player. I've been loving it.
Yeah, I bet those 10-point decreases on those Saber tanks were really a godsend for you when the update came out.
Yeah, I think any Legion player would clap when they get 30 points added to their list.
Right.
But yeah, so I've known you for a long time. We've known each other since the X-Wing 1.0 days, back when you were still out here in Arizona. Yeah, you've been pretty much like a big pioneer in this community. Isn't Bushfacts kind of like how you it originated from all of like the data and stuff that you were accumulating for Legion in its early days?
I mean, that's the goal, right? The goal is to make it seem like that. But Bushfacts, the name itself, actually came from X-Wing days. From playtesting in X-Wing, my playtest group out there in Phoenix, I don't know, my mind works in different ways. And so I would always interpret the rules differently from the rest of my group. And they started calling them Bushfacts whenever they're like, oh, what is that? Like a Bushfact? I'm like, no, dude, it's like, maybe this is what they meant. I don't know. But so they meant it
as intended.
Yeah. And so when Legion came around, I kind of like stole that and had it like become a more positive thing. And now it just is.
Awesome. Yeah.
Well,
so you turned the hate into a positive thing.
It wasn't even hate. It was just like poking, like
yeah, like a good ribbing. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for giving us that little intro to yourself, and we're excited to have you on. So, but in terms of today's topic discussions for this episode, we're going to be taking this episode in a little bit of a little bit more competitive direction than our last 2 episodes, where they were just very banterish and all that stuff. So, I do want to kind of reiterate that we are not going over the changes that were present in the developer update a couple weeks ago, because everyone has gone through them at this point. A lot of people have already seen them. This episode is more just us expressing likes, dislikes, our experiences so far with the new changes. I know I personally have 7 or 8 games already under my belt in the new updates. I'm not sure how many games you both have, but This will be definitely a little bit more competitive minded. We're going to go over the battle forces. We're going to have our Californication segment as usual with Kevin. We're all ready to talk about our topics at hand. And
Yeah, so I did end up playing in an 8-man like the weekend after the changes dropped. So I can speak a little bit about that when we get into it. But cool. So where did you want us to go first, Colin?
Yeah, so why don't we just kind of start by doing the general changes per faction, and then also Shadow Collective, because Shadow Collective represent. So why don't we just start with Rebels? Rebels got some points decreases, and then one thing went up, which was the Bad Batch, even though I didn't feel like I was seeing a whole lot of Rebel Bad Batch. But and then they got the Jin Urso and Luke Skywalker unit leader cards, upgrade cards. So go ahead and we'll start with you, Bushman. Likes, dislikes about Rebels?
Okay, so honestly, Luke, it was been so not memorable enough for so I don't even know what he does with that squad leader, but I know I like Jin. Jin fits really well with what the Rebel Commandos now want to do with the Saboteur. She kind of she gives you a double rainbow. The keywords she adds are kind of whatever, but for 11 points, I think she is. It's like a no-brainer to take her with.
I think she's 22.
22 is 11 the Sab maybe.
I know it's like pretty cheap.
Yeah,
I think
she's still a reasonable cost herself though.
Yeah, so the Commandos are base 42 and the Saboteur, sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, I'm at Jin is 22, yeah.
Yeah, Jin's 22.
Sab is 14.
Luke is 25. The Sab is 14.
Yeah, she's still super worth it, I think.
Yeah, so that unit only cost you 78 points for Jin and the Sab in a Commandos. That's a pretty good deal.
That's a very good solid
that
unit.
Assault keyword is insane if you could make it to range 1.
Yeah, that pool becomes crazy. It's like mostly red and
you can have double rainbow for red at range 1.
Jeez. Yeah, with sharp 1 surge to hit. And impact 6 if you need it.
Yeah. There's even some argument. I really like the Commandos, and it's very similar across the board. The strike team changes that they got new life breathed into them, really. And it opens up list building again. I'm not crazy about the auto wound. I kind of wish it was still just pierce, but I can get over it. It's still not 100% chance that you're going to get the wound, and there's plenty of counterplay to it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to touch on strike teams later, but for now, because strike teams, it's its whole separate discussion.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, Kevin, what about you? Likes, dislikes about Rebels?
So I think the best thing for them that they got out of this update is the Commando update. A 42-point unit that you can, for 14 more points, you can get an extra body. If you have like LOS blocking terrain or other places on the table that you can kind of hide them, and then they can move out, throw that crazy, like here's 7 dice. Oh, but 4 of them are red if I'm in range 1 of you, just seems really, really good to me. And then I think just what that does for them too, having another cheap accessible unit for that. I've seen some lists with Ton that are like 13 to 15 acts. If you play the 1 pip, it gives you another activation. So you're like 14 to 16 activations of just all these hard-hitting range 2 glass cannons that you can just hide behind things, and I can't shoot them if they're hiding. And then if they're dodged up, it's going to be pretty tough, right? Like low profile plus a dodge is
It's not nothing.
Then I think the other thing that they got out of it, I think both of those squad leader unit upgrades are pretty serviceable. The Luke one is not as strong as the Jin, in my opinion, but it gives you a source of inspire because you can take 2 suppression off something. You get his lightsaber and melee, and then you also get an extra courage on that unit for 25 points. That's not a bad purchase for 25 points. If you have the 25 points in your list. And I think you also get a pierce on that. So if you pair it, I think can you put it in a fleet trooper? If you put it in a fleet trooper, okay.
Rebel can't put it in and Rebel troopers.
Okay, yeah, because if you could put it in a fleet, you could pierce with the shotgun and the lightsaber is what I was thinking. That'd be
let's
good.
Be real.
I'm not a Rebel player, so I just always get scared whenever I see fleets on the table, but I would be scared if I saw Cassian fleet plus a squad of Luke in a regular trooper and Jin in another squad. That's a lot of stuff to deal with. Like they're gonna, I think those are the two that I think the commandos and then just those, I think their squad leaders, like if you compare them all across the board, the ones that CIS got access to are pretty good too, but I think they might be the best ones. We haven't seen that shake out yet, but they look really strong to me on paper.
I mean, this is Rebel and Republic, but Chewie is by far my favorite of all the squad leaders they released. Chewie absolutely kicks those Wookiees up a notch to be able to make it to do what they want to do, really. 4 red defense dice on as they're coming in is just insane. And even if they don't get to charge, like their pistols are now shooting all blacks. And with Surge, it's not terrible.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a miss not giving his bowcaster Pierce, because every other bowcaster in the game has Pierce. But I think there actually is merit now to just taking like a single Wookiee squad with Chewie, because like that unit also ties down Force users like no other.
Have you? I mean, you've seen Duelist, right? With prepared supplies, and now into the fray. Surging red saves, immune pierce, and melee. Like
exactly.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you're like, all right, Force user, you can have my 12 health of non-pierceable pseudo red saves.
Yeah. I would have liked that Chewie if he was like 5 to 10 more points and then let me put in another Wookiee heavy in the squad. Like give me the 15 health Wookiee squad AMG. Come on.
Because that would have been 5 red defense, you know.
Oh, I know.
Chewie would have scaled with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it would have been way too good.
Unkillable. Like Battle Shield, Chewie.
Or just make Chewie 4 health, you know?
Yeah, but speaking of Rebels, the Cassian squad's also unkillable because after you kill everything in the squad, he just unloads a bucket of dice on you anyways. So
Still less health than the Chewie squad, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, I think overall the Rebel changes were good. I would have liked to see Cassian upgrade go up 5 points, because I don't think that thing should be worth 25 points. But I understand it's still sort of new, and AMG doesn't like to touch things that are new.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the Rebels actually came out pretty good this balance update for sure. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to Empire now. So I think Empire is just gonna be the best army in the game, in my opinion, especially since they did get some points decreases. I mean, obviously, the meme of our range trooper is going to go up again wasn't true, but like Iden's ID10 being free now, like super awesome.
That's insane.
Yeah, she like
kidding me.
Yeah, but like I mean, she's still 115 points, right?
Yeah.
So she's still expensive, but it's at least a start. And then ISF going down, but I think what really was the huge thing that came out for Empire was Fifth Brother. That Fifth Brother upgrade is really, really good.
Yeah, so I think same thing here. They also got the Assault Keyword Special Forces, and I did play against those in my tournament that I went to. And let me tell you, those scouts hit like a truck, bro. If they get in close to your stuff, it was not fun. Like my opponent managed to get one off on me. There wasn't much I couldn't stand by zone it out or anything. So he just ran up, threw a bomb into, I think it was a spider or I don't remember if it was Greg or a spider, but he just wrecked a unit, one shot, like they were done because I couldn't get any damage on that scout. The Callus is like insane to me too. Did you guys see that picture that was on the Legion Facebook with? No. Okay, so there was a lat and it was deploying from the side of the board and then dropping the Callus or
it was a Fifth Brother.
The Fifth Brother riot. And then because you can spur, you can basically be all the way in the opponent's deployment zone when you basically on your second 2 moves. So you get out of the lat, the other opponent goes with their unit, and then the Callus can like move up, or I keep saying Callus, Fifth Brother can move up the board with the spur. And if you have March, you can basically reach the other side of the board.
Well, you wouldn't put March on them because you're just going to double spur.
Yeah, sorry. You're just going to double spur, but it looked disgusting.
Yeah, 16 inches after deploying from a lat and the speed 1 from the lat. Yeah.
Yeah, you are charging turn 1 if you decide to do that, which is very funny. But yeah, I think the Seventh Sister upgrade was very underwhelming to me. I don't really feel like it's going to probably be played at all.
She made it into the ISF. Well, I mean, at least, ISF are range 3, she's range 2. Yeah, not super ideal.
What do you guys think of the probe droid upgrade that you can put in the heavy slot and then get your heavy back?
I think it's cute.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's really going to be that good, but
Yeah.
it's an option.
Okay.
Because
I
think the biggest problem now is with strike teams going to support slot and having detachment. I think Empire is going to struggle with either deciding if they want probes or if they want strike teams.
I got a 13 act list that I think I have both, or did I just go with the probes? I don't remember.
Yeah, why are
Uh,
you saying you have to choose?
Because isn't detachment locked to one instance? Like you're
No,
only able to.
because one is a special forces detachment slot, right? And then one is a support slot detachment. So they go in the different slots. Can you only get one detachment per thing?
Every unit only gets one detachment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what we're getting at here.
Well, he's
Because
saying
detachment breaks the rank.
you
structure.
either get your choice between a probe droid or a strike team for your detachment. For your
Yeah,
special forces.
I'm not saying about like capping your ranks.
Oh,
I'm saying
right, because it's a generic detachment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you bring a scout trooper, you have to choose if you want the strike team or if you want the
Yes.
probe droid, basically.
No,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
But no, those
an option.
scouts do hit like freight trains, especially if you give them frag grenades. And I'm not ready to see remnant scouts with March Saboteur frag grenades.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I just like that probe upgrade because if you choose to bring other probe droids, it's a way to cast your observes into an aim. So you're just like automatically like, okay, I'm gonna go with this probe, observe that thing, and then if I have I think a stormtrooper unit with the T-21, the probe.
No, I see where you're getting at, Kevin. I think it's a good upgrade, but I don't think it's like the most busted thing in the world. What about you, Bushman? Any opinions on the Empire stuff?
I think it's great. It is. I do like the little Imperial probe droid you could put in the heavy slot. It goes a long way to modifying your attack dice even better, or utilizing things like long shot by gaining an aim out of an observation token, triggering lethals and all that. I guess there's probably no one that can take this that would have lethal. No, but as far as the strike team or the probe droid unit, I'm not sure which one you would take. The strike team is cheaper. Is it cheaper?
No, it's slightly more expensive.
Okay. And I imagine people will just gravitate to the probe droid for activation padding.
Probably. Have you gotten a chance to play against like Thrawn and Tarkin yet?
A couple times, yes. Not enough to have everything fleshed out yet, but
yeah. I think I'm glad that AMG at least emergency patched strike sniper team to only be in activation instead of being able to be used out of activation.
Yes.
So no standby or pull the strings.
Jeez, that would have gotten pretty nutty, especially with how much aim access the Imperial has to keep forcing those crits.
Yeah. Empire just they went from having no token generation to having probably some of the most token generation in the game behind clones.
And what do you mean behind clones?
Do you think that they're just better than clones now? At
token generation, yes. Token efficiency is where clones have to shine now. But as of, I think it was a year ago, maybe longer, where they stripped Exemplar from they took Exemplar from Padme and some others, and they gave almost every faction Exemplar except for Gar. And it was around that time, I think, that everyone else started to get an insane amount of token generation. Clones don't have much. Especially, like, we're losing our token batteries. Like, Padme's not doing anything for you. Your token batteries are 50 points minimum. And what are they going to do? Get you 2 tokens?
Yeah. Yeah, your token batteries are a naked clone infantry with a surge, an aim, and a dodge.
Yeah, and that's 56 points.
It's rough out here for the Gar players.
And it's 2 actions to do that, right? There's no quick thinkings. There's no strategized 2s. There's very little target. And didn't they just take away our tactical? No, ARC troopers still have it.
ARC still have it. ARC strike
Rex.
teams don't have it anymore.
Yeah. But so we have like 2 units that generate, or we have a couple of targets, the commandos, Cody, just that.
I think that's why you see a lot of Gar players taking Yoda now too, because it's one of the few ways left in the faction that you can get like a good burst of tokens.
But it's one turn. Right?
Yeah, I mean that droid list. I've been playing a lot of like Kalani and the Operative together, right? And that's like a pretty good package of just like you're gonna get 3 aims, 3 dodges on round 1 on Kalani to share if you want to. If you have the tactical download card, you're probably gonna have access to somewhere between probably 6 aims and 6 dodges on most of the units that you'll want them on. Clones hasn't been like that, like you said. Clones have not been able to leverage green tokens like that really since the 501st nerf. The 501st list that had like the commanders that would make surges for you every round. Like the last iteration of clones I can think of that had like that crazy, like, I got all these green tokens to share with my guys. I don't really think clones have had access to that for a long time.
Yeah, it's true.
I do think Empire has access to all the aims that they need now.
Oh my God.
Like all the aims. Like there's so many different ways to get aims in the faction now. And then they kind of have the same thing that droids do with the Kalani, the operative, the droid operative. If you do Thrawn plus the operative, you kind of get the same exact.
You actually get it, but better. It's better than the Kalani package because Thrawn has strategize too, but he also has tactical built in.
True.
And then the operative has tactical built in.
Correct. And then you can also put the pistol on there, which gives you target 1. So then you get another aim if the operative gets an order that round. So there's a lot of different ways to get.
Yeah.
You will have the aims that you need for the units that need an aim.
Yeah. Empire's pumping out like 6 to 8 aims every single turn with just those two models.
Man, must be nice.
I know, right? Listen, I started playing Gar recently.
Mistake.
And mistake. And I feel your pain, Bushman.
Yeah. No, it's still fun, but I see these free tokens from all the other factions, and it does bring a tear to my eye.
Hey, but you get like 9 free surge tokens every round with your sabers.
No, that is not how that works. It's once per attack action.
Isn't
the
each
clone shock trooper? Nope, those are attacks, but not attack actions.
Oh, okay.
So clone shock trooper. The places where it matters is clone shock trooper pilot will generate 1 surge after the entire attack action. So no matter how many times you split fire. The other time where it matters is the rules for sharing tokens via the clone trooper keyword or 2/12 happens for every attack. So if I am splitting fire with the tank one direction and beaming 3 others, I could potentially borrow 4 aims, 1 on each attack. But I will not generate 4 tokens.
Yeah, I think there's a misconception among Legion players sometimes when it comes to Gar that, they make tons of tokens. Those days are long gone. Long gone.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I stopped playing Gar, to be honest, was like I really liked playing Gar and it was fun. But when I saw like how much access once they gave Exemplar into other factions, it kind of just like took that away.
It did.
So we covered Rebels and we covered Empire, right? So we need to cover changes for the other 2 factions still and Shadow Collective.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and just move on to, since we're on Gar, let's go to Gar. Yeah, so Gar didn't really get a whole lot of meaningful stuff, and again, Bad Batch went up in points, which personally I don't think that they needed to. I thought they were perfectly fine at 160.
Yeah.
And then they got Cody upgrade, and then they got Obi-Wan upgrade. Now, the Cody upgrade, in my opinion, is fantastic. I think that upgrade is really good. And then the Obi upgrade, I just don't ever see why you would take it at all.
It makes me so sad.
Like, he doesn't even give him charge.
I know.
Make melee ARFs happen, guys. Come on.
Will Pagani really wants people to play melee ARFs. But the Cody upgrade, though, that thing is really
the
good.
mechanized infantry, where you just give a vehicle a nice token every round. I do like it. I don't think it's enough for me to get rid of Commander Cody in my list in lieu of upgrade Cody.
Yeah, for 2/12 that makes sense. Maybe we'll see.
2/12 would want that token, right? But at the same time,
but I think we'll have to see how like Obi on a Bark feels.
Yeah.
If he ends up taking up that slot, but I think in 2/12, you probably should keep Cody as the commander. But for everything else, though, I I have played a game or two with a Cody super marksman with a mortar and just have like an ATRT nearby, and that unit hits like a truck.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because like you get the free aim, so you have your long shot all ready to go if you need it.
Does
And
the aim
then
go to the unit or does it go to the vehicle? I thought it went to
it
the
goes to
vehicle.
both.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, they both get it. So,
Okay.
but it has to be the same token. You can't like give one of them an aim, one of them a
Sure.
dodge. It has to be both get an aim, both get a dodge.
That's fine.
You get your aim for long shot, and then you might have an aim nearby from your little token battery core infantry, and then you just take the aim action, and you have precise one built in. You can give them targeting scopes for precise 2 if you want to, or if
that's
you're
just
playing
rude.
contact, you're gonna get another precise. So like, there was plenty of times where I was rolling that dice pool, and I think that dice pool is like 14 dice
Yeah.
at range 4, and there was like more often than not I was getting like 10 plus consistently.
It's a lot of rerolls.
Yeah. I mean, and then you have the critical, you have the impact from Cody, and then you have suppressive. So yeah, that I think that unit is very good.
Okay.
I'm not sure if taking it in the super squad is the way to go, because it ends up being like 160 points.
Yeah, that's average for a clone squad.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah,
it's,
right.
it's fine. That's the GAR tax. Just pay the GAR tax.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
But I mean, I
Bite
even
the
think
bullet.
just like a non-super squad with like dug in and a mortar with Cody. It's throwing 9
Mhm.
dice. 9 dice at range 4 with critical 1, suppressive impact, and you have dug in, so your opponent has a harder time at just like chipping your guys down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, it seems.
It really comes down to like how many aims do you expect to be able to get them each round?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
if
for
it's more aims, then you could take advantage of it with the larger squad.
I like the mechanized infantry too. If you have something that you want to feed aims to, so if you have like probably an ISP or a Saber is probably like the best option. Saber probably a little bit more because you're probably going to get a little bit more out of that damage profile. I think GAR didn't really get a lot out of the update, to be honest with you guys. They got 10 points on probably what their most competitive piece was at the moment. Like,
yeah, they definitely caught some strays though.
yeah,
Like, especially with like the improvised orders nerf.
Oh man, yeah. What the heck was that?
That needs like its own segment, but I don't really feel like they gained that much. But I don't think they lost that much, but I don't really think they gained that much. I
Right.
think getting the 10 points on the Saber probably helps 2/12 list the most. That's probably like the biggest buff that they got is the 10 points on the Saber tank. Most of the other stuff is like, okay, this is something cool I can try and mess with. I think where you really see GAR pick up, like in the upcoming meta, is like once the High Council box drops. If there's something in the High Council box that is like just going to be taking them to the next level, but overall, I wasn't really that impressed. Then they did get access to the. I like to play Wookiee Defenders. I'm not that impressed by the Chewbacca upgrade.
Well, on Defenders.
Defenders, because not necessarily like overall. Like I think it's fine. Like I would take that in like a regular GAR list, but I don't want to pay 9 more points for some red defense dice and then lose access to the Pierce on the bowcasters. Because usually when I play Defenders,
big deal.
I like to have as many bowcasters in my list as I can fit because I want all that Pierce.
That's the strength of it.
Yeah,
right?
like having Pierce 10 in your list is pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
I didn't I think it's a huge flavor fail to leave Pierce off his bowcaster. I just don't understand.
Like they're getting rid of Pierce everywhere.
Yeah. Maybe they want to remove it. Canceling blocks is pretty strong.
Yeah. Is it stronger than auto wounds?
Next segment. Anything else for GAR? Anything else?
They did get a whole new upgrade card. They got their arc.
Yeah, the gunner.
The arc gun.
I don't hate it.
I've played a few games with it. It's not bad. I'm not saying is it better than a medic? Maybe not. It definitely helps on the way in. Yeah. I mean, I want to try 6-man arcs. I think 6-man arcs might be pretty sick.
Points.
Hey, but that range 2 dice pool into a charge is pretty
13
good.
black and a white.
Yeah. and then
I
they
like
get
how
the
that
aim
sounds.
automatically.
I like how that
for-
sounds until I compare it to a sleeper cell and how much a sleeper cell costs.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
dude! Don't even get me started.
And I get search hit,
Rebels were 10 minutes ago.
and I
excuse
get
me.
and I get aims for just moving. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's
Ugh.
116, and I can do the same thing. Can have a
Yeah.
range 2 glass cannon unit for the same price if I go play
Yeah.
Rebels. It's I don't know, man. My biggest issue with Gar, and it's like ever since the 501st nerf, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, this stuff is expensive, right? Oh, it's okay, guys. Don't worry. We'll just make stuff more expensive. And I feel like they've been in this like cyclical cycle for the last 3 updates. Like Ark's got that
Yeah.
random like 6-point increase that they didn't need because they weren't like dominating the meta. They were like sitting in like 3rd spot to like Rebels and CIS in my opinion at that point, or maybe them and Empire were kind of even. I don't know. So I don't know. It's like I feel like they're gonna need like at some point in the future, like they're gonna need some points adjustments to be able to keep up with these factions that can bring these 15 to 16 activation list.
Yeah.
Like I just don't see how you can play because I would say most Gar lists are between 9 to 12 activations. 12 is like pushing it, like you're bringing like the
Everything's, like,
cheapest things you
naked.
can find. Yeah. So I just don't see them gaining enough in this update. I wouldn't mind trying like 501st with like all snipers again, like commandos and maybe some strike teams and maybe medic arcs, but
I do want to try Anakin with max ARC troopers.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
that,
actually,
Promising.
yeah.
I actually have a list built right now that I want to try. It's like Anakin, marksman, triple arcs, and I think there's the 6-man arcs, medic plus gun, 3 strikes, a commando, and delta.
Wait, why do you only have 3 of each? Why not 4 of each?
Because I don't own 4 arcs and I don't want to buy a 4th arc box.
Just do it, bro. Just do it. I remember how happy I was when I found my 501st box and I got to get all my arcs.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny though. Like everyone kind of craps on Gar for being like, "Oh, Gar's not good," but they're still doing very well in events.
Yeah.
I think
So,
of them
mean,
as a player skill army.
no, they are definitely a player
Like
skill army.
I think the people that play Gar and are like hardcore Gar players, they have a higher skill level maybe because they're more often like having to win with some of the restraints that the faction puts on you, just points wise, really. It's not to say that people that win with the other factions are like lower skilled. I think it's just one of those armies that like you have to very carefully play your activations because if you lose one activation early in the game, it's going to be lights out. Like you have to really be careful with how you play things.
Yeah. That's a very good way to put it. It is very punishing and stressful.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's probably
Why
why I
would you
walked
do
away
this?
from them because I didn't like that stress in the game. So I was like, let's just go play droids where I can have like 13 to 14 activations. If I lose a B1 early, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, and like ever since I started playing Gar, I've noticed like I've actually lost games that I was winning because I just randomly had a unit get one shot. Like, oh, I was winning this game until this arc in melee with B2s just got one shot. That's awesome.
Yep. You know what's
Yeah,
a lot harder to one shot? It's a saber tank.
Yeah, that makes sense. My experience with them too was like every 1 in 3 games, like Colin said, I would just like lose a unit to just like all my red dice would blank, and I'd be like, "Well, the game's over now. Like time to move on, I guess," because I'm not going to be able to come back on the scoring from there. So
That's why I was on commandos for so long too. The clone commandos,
yeah,
because they can fail their dice one time.
yeah.
I've been actually playing 2 to 3 commandos in like every list.
Yeah,
And
Why
they've-
2? What's wrong with you?
What do you mean why 2?
2, 3 is so much better.
Because
I
you
just
have to
started-
complete the mission tokens. That's why 3 is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started
exponential.
playing the 3rd. I've been playing 2
Alright.
plus Delta.
That counts as 3. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
learning.
No, that's what
He's
I
learning.
mean. Like,
Okay.
He's a CIS player that's converting. So,
I am converting. I am converting.
but cool.
That's good.
All right, Colin, you
Yeah,
want to talk
yeah.
CIS changes or anything
Yeah.
else?
So no, I think we've plenty exhausted the minor changes with Gar. Gar was pretty much like kind of like a side grade to slightly worse.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, the droid changes. CIS saw some really big changes on the rules front. They only got 2 points changes. One of them wasn't actually even in the developer update. It was in the article, and then they just forgot to mention it in the developer update. So Maul went down 15, and then actually BX's came down 4. So there's 60
Oh.
instead of 64.
Yeah.
So they did get the Asajj and Grievous unit upgrade cards. Both of them can either go in B1s, which I don't know why you would ever take them in B1s, but Grievous can go in a Magna unit and Asajj can go in a BX unit. So, Kevin, why don't you start us off, likes and dislikes on CIS?
so-
We're gonna get to AI changes in a minute, but just rookies
So
general.
I'll just talk about the Asajj BX because I did take that to an event and try it out. I thought it was pretty good because of the fact that it has demoralize. So if you can set up like shooting something that's a courage 1 unit to get it to be suppressed when she charges into it, it's pretty awesome because you're going to get like a really nice dice pool because you're going to trigger the upgrading the dice with her. So I liked it. I thought it was pretty fun to play. And then it having jump as well was like really helpful because there was a few times where I was able to like hide it behind things and then like jump over and then like charge into something that I had gotten enough suppression on. The first game I played, I actually got a Dooku up to 3 suppression and then jumped it and managed to get it onto the Dooku and hit the Dooku with it. So that was pretty fun.
That's spicy.
So it was cool. I liked it. I didn't feel like it was overly powerful, but I felt like it was just right, if that makes sense. So I think it's a good upgrade. The Greg one I think is good, but I'm not too high on Magnas overall because I just think their points are a little too high. Like I think they're a little bit too expensive for what you're paying, but they are 2 health each. So that's something to try. I think the next thing I'd probably try with these is like putting them into a snail and then trying to like forward deploy them into my opponent's armies. And then the other kind of thing that they got that was, I think the 15 points on Maul does matter. I mean, it makes Maul a lot more playable because you can actually fit him into an army a little bit easier if you're trying to get to like that 12, 13 activation number that droid armies have been sitting at for the last bit. But the other big change was Aquas and Decas getting changed to heavy droid troopers. I think people are still figuring that out. I don't think it's bad. I think it will just force you to play the entire army differently. Because you can no longer like hide your character units. Because I mean, obviously everyone knows how that played out, right? Like you put, okay, here's my Aquas. Heroes stand behind these units. When your stuff comes in close to where my Aquas are, this hero is going to move through and engage with whatever's in front of them, right?
It was very uninteractive.
Yeah, and I completely get that. I'm okay with the change. I think it's a good change for the game overall. I think it's a good change because honestly, I was getting a little bit bored playing CIS in tournaments because of that play.
Too
pattern.
easy to win.
Not even too easy to win. Just the play.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, but like the play pattern, like honestly, because I get how that would feel from the other side, right? Like you're standing there and you're like, man, I want to shoot that 150, 200 point thing, and I can't shoot it because it's literally hiding behind it. I've even had it come up in games where I mispositioned my Aquas and then went to like shoot with something behind the Aquas and then realized I couldn't shoot that thing I wanted to shoot. So I think it will be good. I think Deca's actually got like I don't know what you think about it, Colin. I think they got kind of a boost off of this, honestly. No firing arc anymore, and you can use the guns in melee now.
Yeah.
So you can give out a suppression while you're in a melee, which is kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll definitely, as someone who played CIS for 4 straight years, I will have plenty of opinions on the CIS changes, but I kind of want to hear what Bushman has to say first.
Yeah, let's let Bushman go.
I am trying not to be too salty that Grievous and Asajj are in charging units where Luke and Obi-Wan are not. But
that's fair.
It's a little strange, but they both feel great. I haven't played against them yet, but the Asajj in BX seems absolutely insane and terrifying. And it's just a big axe, just like a Jedi or lightsaber would. I have yet to see how the Aqua Droid and Droidica are going to shake out, but it makes me very excited for Force Push again.
Oh yeah, the fact that you can Force Push them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really huge.
Off my point.
Oh yeah, that's huge. That's big for sure. Yeah. I know you were definitely probably very excited especially when Aquas lost the ability to block line of sight.
Yes, the saber tanks got very excited for that.
Oh yeah, probably.
Ooh,
Those
Kalani,
juicy
there you
B1s,
are.
yummy.
I could beam into any of them early game. Like that's the biggest thing is trying to get those early beam attacks.
Yeah, just attrition a little bit.
Yeah. Soften it up because it takes several rounds of shooting that beam for it to do anything, but it will.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've played probably like 5-ish games with CIS since the changes, and overall, I think CIS are still fine. I think they're still perfectly reasonable. I don't know how often you're going to see Aquas anymore, in my opinion. I think Aquas are still good, but I think you're going to see one in a list now instead of two.
Yeah.
Because CIS has just other options now with that Asajj BX and other units that, like, the whole purpose of the Aquas was to be that moving wall. And now, like, they still die. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people's opinions may vary, but I always feel like my Aquas, whenever I played them, one of them usually died extremely fast, and then the other one just never died because my opponent wouldn't have enough at that point to kill it. But
Spend their whole everything they got on the one. Yeah.
yeah, but now that you can just shoot through the aquas, like the aquas are no longer a priority for some people. Obviously, like you do have to kill them because their dice pool is good enough at full strength where they can't
Yeah.
just put a hurt on those like white save
Yeah.
core or those like 4-man red save units. I don't know if you're going to see aquas as much anymore, especially with them still being 103 points. I guess we'll see if they come down for some reason. I don't think that they will in November.
Oh, God, I hope they do not.
They're 106 with the heavy.
Yeah,
I
think that's still
value.
reasonable.
I think they're still really good, well priced. I think what's going to happen, but we haven't seen people doing it yet, is the play pattern for how you play them will change.
Yes.
Because the heavy droid troopers can exit a melee and then shoot in the same turn like a creature trooper. So I think you'll be able to do some cool tricks with like, okay, I'm going to shoot you, then I'm going to move into a melee and hide in this melee. Like, you know,
and then next round, like move out, shoot
you. Yeah, like there'll be some cool stuff like that. The one thing that does irritate me a little bit about this change is the de facto upgrade on them for 5 points before was LTA. And I can no longer take LTA on them, which is annoying. So I can't get access to that free aim.
Hey,
and most of the other things in that slot are not things I would want on my Aqua droids. Like I can't take an onboard comms. I can't take. So it's a little bit annoying, but I think the play pattern with them will change. And then like similar to my list that I took to the Phoenix GT, like you said, Colin, I think you'll see people pair them up. Like I'll do an Aqua and a snail or an Aqua and an AAT. Or I'll do Aqua and, you know, one Aqua, and then I'll fill up my support slot with a bunch of annoying stuff or whatever. So you just won't see people paying the full 212 points for two of them. They're still good.
Yeah. Decas, I've played Decas almost every game that I played with CIS since the update, and I actually think that they're still perfectly the same. Like if you never used them for LOS blocking, they act exactly the same as they did before, except now you can you can ball mode like into melee to hide them into a melee and then be able to like walk out the next turn and shoot stuff. And I think Decas are actually still very good, even with their changes to them becoming troopers. And because like, you know, they lost the fixed front, they can use their gun in melee if they need to, but melee is not really where you want them to be anyway. But it is what it is. But another thing you can do with the aquas and the droidicas that a lot of people don't realize is you can now coordinate to them. You can now aid to them. You can do some other things for droid trooper stuff that
Are
you weren't
they
able to before.
droid troopers still? They're heavy troopers.
Yeah.
So heavy droid trooper is both a heavy trooper and a droid trooper.
Oh, I didn't realize it said heavy droid. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's I think it's a bullet point in the rules book under the heavy droids that says that They are both a droid trooper and a heavy droid trooper, so they can use a lot of the keywords that interact with coordinate and stuff like that. So as of right now, I would say that those changes will make CIS less dominant, but I still think they will be a role player in the meta. Because the units are still really efficient, they're effectively costed. That Asajj BX also gives you another really nice piece. Like if you're trying to play like a wheelbike Greg list, before those lists kind of just had like Aquas and Greg, and those were like the heavy hitting things. And now you can kind of fit that Asajj BX into like some different kinds of lists and gives you another like heavy hitting, hard hitting unit. And I kind of like that because I always felt like the wheelbike Greg list, while it was really good with the stats, I always wanted like another thing that I could fit in there to hit hard with, like close range or melee. It was mostly relying on range shooting. So I kind of like the idea of the Asajj BX being able to slot into like different various archetypes.
Yeah, for sure. So like Mike, very quick opinions on those two upgrades. I think the Grievous Magna unit, in my opinion, is actually not very good. I think that unit is too expensive for what it does. But the Asajj BX unit, I think, is going to be a staple going forward in CIS lists because that unit hits like a freight train.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
It
fine.
is. It is 15 dice in melee.
Yeah.
If you take vibros.
With
It's
charge and jump.
With charge, jump, poison, pierce.
Yeah, that's
critical
exactly
one.
what my
read.
opponent said to me when I charged their Dooku. How many dice? I said, yeah, it's 15.
Yeah, it's 5 rainbow is what it is.
Yeah.
And then if you have the Asajj ability online, then you just upgrade 4 of the whites to blacks, and now you're throwing 9 black, a white, and 5 red with surge to hit. Because you have that pierce, you're always going to get the poison through if they live. That unit's insane, but it is very fragile. It does die very quickly,
Yeah.
but it usually takes its chunk of meat out of your opponent first before it ends up leaving.
I mean, you say quickly, but it's still what, 5-6 health?
It's 6 health red saves.
Impervious.
Yeah. And it loses AI.
It does lose AI.
Which is like, I actually think matters a lot. The other thing that
now.
was, it's also really funny to me because the dice pool on that thing that you can play with Asajj, I believe it's, I think it's 116 points.
It is 116.
Yeah, so it's 116 points. So for 1 more point, I can bring that, or for 115 points, I can bring Asajj. So which one would you pick?
The
PX every time, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even think Asajj will see the table anymore. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. Speaking of AI changes, let's just go ahead and move along and just very quickly touch on the AI changes, so that way we can get through the other topics for this episode.
Yeah.
So the AI changes, I actually think were very good. They were impactful, but they weren't oppressive.
Yeah, I'd say so.
In my tournament that I played, I had it come up once all day.
Yeah, like I still rarely think that AI is going to trigger, but when it does trigger, it actually matters.
Yeah.
Well, and it's going to influence your play because that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You can't play quite as loosely.
Yeah, I just ended up using the override because I was just keeping my thing that I knew they were going to be a little bit out of like where I needed them to be. So I was like, I'll just
kill the override.
Yeah. So I'll just keep them as close to my operative as possible, and then I'll be able to override when I need it. But overall, I feel like those changes are fair. They're pretty reasonable. I think the one thing that people will get tripped up on, and I've already heard of a few people locally saying like, oh yeah, we played like because he didn't have a face up, it triggered AI every time, which is not what it reads. But some people will read it like that and then be like, well, that unit doesn't have a face up, so now you're going to need the AI action.
Yeah, I had a couple instances in my games too where my opponent thought that I needed the AI, and I'm like, nope. There's an and clause in this AI this AI rule where you have to have both no face up order token and one of the other 3 bullet points need to apply.
Because I'm a huge nerd, when I went to my tournament, I just made sure I had it printed out so I could read it like 3 times at the beginning of every game to make sure that I would remember like how it worked. Yeah. The only unit that I'm kind of sad about with this is the bikes, the new wheel bikes, because when I played them in Phoenix, most of the time when they got shot, they lost half the unit, which would then mean that they would be dodging every time if they lose a model because of the way that says the unit is if this is a vehicle unit and half or more defeated, then it triggers the AI. And then they also errataed Staps, so they do no longer AI move, they now AI dodge. So those are probably the two units that I think are most affected by this AI change. I think most of the other stuff should be fairly reasonable. You'll just have to think about it during list building to make sure that you're going to account for what you're going to do if it happens.
I think it'll be fine. I think droid players still have a ton of good play.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They could have definitely hit droids a lot harder than they did, but I think they were very conservative about going too crazy with droids.
The droid list building, in my opinion, has been like this giant onion of layered things on top of each other that are very good. And you only see the outside one because it's the best one.
Yeah.
But you take that away and there's still 3 more layers that are great. And they're just being outshone. Yeah.
I think the fact that they made that nerf to Aquas, it's going to change the way the faction plays overall. So you'll see different play patterns on the table. And then now no longer like will every CIS list be like, okay, here's my 222 points worth of Aquas. Now what do I want to put in here with that? And I think that's good because it doesn't force people like, oh, I always have to take this unit because it's the best unit in the army or it's the best unit in the faction.
Right.
And that's exciting because it's boring when you go and look at lists and every single list has the same stuff in it and you're trying to figure out like what do I want to play with, and so it's good. Yeah, it's a good change. I don't think it nerfs droids into the ground. Like you said, I think they still have a lot of options as far as list building, and we'll still see a lot of varied list for droids.
Yeah.
So, and then very, very quickly, Shadow Collective did get some goodies. They got the Pike Super Squad. They now have Weak Ways in the mix. And then on top of that, Shadow Collective Mall did come down like 20 points, which is good. But overall, I don't think this really boosts Shadow Collective up that much. But it's at least good that they got something.
Yeah. I don't know. That 10-man Pike Squad, or has it 9 Pikes before you put it in a heavy? And you can take both heavies with it?
I don't think you're ever going to take both. I think you're going to see more a ranged version of it than a melee version of it.
Are you sure? You can put it in a tank and transport it.
I still don't see why
Pikes
you would
with
need
the
to
whip
make your
jumping out of a
Pikes,
thing? That seems scary. I think Shadow Collective might see a small uptick, but you have those people out there that are like the Shadow Collective faithfuls that will always play it. And them getting points for their mall is good. It's good.
Here, take your little toy and be happy. You know.
But it'll help their. I mean, they're like at bottom of the barrel as far as their win percentages right now. If you look on like Ragnar's stat sheet on TLD and stuff like that, so they should get a little something.
All right, and then the last major change of the developer update: strike teams.
Yeah.
Now, there was a lot of hot debate in the community right when the strike team stuff was announced, and there was a lot of people that were salty. I'm not going to name who. And then there was a lot of people who were optimistic. So do we think they're good for the game, bad for the game, overhyped?
Okay, so first question, have you guys played a game with them yet?
Yes.
I've played with them and against them.
Okay, cool. Second question, so Colin, what did you think overall? Like, what was let's hear your take first.
I think they're fine. I think they're a little overhyped because it's like, to me, it's like almost no different than when they had Pierce, because, they just kind of did that wound anyway. But there's 2 things that I don't like about strike teams. One is I don't like the auto wound stuff against Jedi.
Yeah.
And then 2, I don't like that strike teams are allowing certain list archetypes to now start hitting like 16, 17 activations. And I really think that this game needs to start incorporating an act cap, because it's just kind of ridiculous, like going up to a table and being like, oh, my rebel opponent has 16 acts with Han, so they're 17 acts. That's awesome. And then like, they're easy to kill. They're not very hard to kill. There's real merit to whether or not you want to take strike teams. Like Empire has that decision of strike team versus probe droid. Rebel strike teams are perfectly serviceable. but I don't know if you really want to be spamming commandos. Like the Jin commando unit is really good. I personally think that the arc strike teams are terrible. I don't see
Yeah.
why you would ever take them. And then I actually think that BX strikes are better with the mine than they are with the sniper.
I think the rebel
Okay.
ones can be pretty good with their saboteur as well because of
Yeah.
incognito.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna get there.
Yeah, but
Okay.
like the reason why I say that the BX ones are probably the best with their mine is because one, incognito, two, they have poison,
Yeah.
and three, they have access to charge.
Yeah. I know.
So, but like
But in
overall,
melee,
like
you're
I
not getting the assault keyword, right?
no, but you're still getting 5 dice surge to hit with poison.
Yeah.
And against like some units, it's like, oh, your non-force push Jedi, like, oh, here's my 46-point strike team, and you took a wound and you just took a poison.
What do you think, Bushfacts? What do you think about them?
I know. I do think they're great. I think that's. I think they're fine in the game. I don't think they're overpowered, just like Colin's saying. I think there's plenty of counterplay to it. The fact that they have to stay in LOS of the defending unit and not move on their turn before shooting to be able to do this, I think is a big thing that you could play around. Now you have to play around it if you're like worried about your Yodas or your Dooku's or someone. For me, that's enough counterplay. You know, I play a lot of Jedis, and I'm not crying too much about it. As far as
it's
the
not even always
activation,
guaranteed.
it's not, and it's not even like 80%. It's in like the 50s, 60s kind of thing, unless you're sitting there and aiming as well,
Right.
and then you're vulnerable if you do that.
Yeah.
But I think the activation increase, I think it'll happen across the board, so it won't matter as much.
Except for Gar, in my opinion.
Maybe.
Yeah. So the first thing I think about them is I think that something that people I haven't heard anyone say this, maybe someone has and I just missed it. You do have to pay points to put these into your list initially. Like you have to invest in the unit that they're detached off of.
Yes.
So if you want to play a scout strike team, you have to pay 48 points before you even get to put that 2-model unit into your list. I agree with what you guys said about the activation count going up, and I do find that a little bit frustrating as a tournament player because honestly, it is frustrating when you got to sit there and your opponent has 16 activations and they're going to go 3 more times than you at the end of the round. It's a bit annoying. I'm not sure if they could do the activation cap thing. I don't even know what that would look like, honestly. I don't know if it what's a good number? Where do you put that number at? Do you put it at 12? Do you put it at 14? Do you put it at 15?
If I were them, I would say 15.
Okay.
Because then 15, because like you were already seeing like 14 act, 15 act Ewoks anyway.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of like the highest where you saw most reasonable lists. But now like, and I'm mostly looking at Rebels for this. I'm not really looking at anybody else because I don't really see very many other people doing this with their strike teams. But Rebels are getting up to like 16 activations and still having meat. Like real meat and veggies in their lists.
Yeah.
With triple strike teams. And they'll have like a Jin squad and a Cassian super and Han. And it's like, holy moly. I have to deal with all of this. Plus trying to reach your strike teams in the back to just like one-shot your strike teams to get an act off the table.
Oh, I've got 2 things with this high activation count, whether or not it's oppressive. On the one hand, as far as activating 3 or 4 times after you, the reason that I personally, as a competitive player, don't chase high activations is because if I don't have more activations than you, then it doesn't matter as far as who's activating last. You know, if I have 9 and you have 10, you're still going to have 1 or 2 after me, depending on who goes first. And if I have 7 and you have 12, it's the same story if I'm using passes.
Yeah.
The time where it really does matter, though, is for bodies on points. Now, if you can't remove stuff, if the stuff is too survivable, then it starts to become rough.
I think it's a time consideration and then, like you said, a scoring consideration. One of my things with them too is so when I played them in the tournament, I thought they were fine, right? And if my opponent had some too, it did create this very cool who's gonna shoot with their sniper team first dynamic.
Yeah.
the fact that you have to have LOS to whatever you're shooting at matters, right? Because like if you pull a table where maybe the back row of terrain, like closest on your side, isn't giving you as much coverage as you would like, right? Like maybe you don't have as many LOS blocking or things that you can hide behind. The fact that if you put them in a certain spot, you can kind of zone off a particular area.
Yes.
Like, hey, like, oh, okay, my 3 strike teams are over here. That's where I think like Yoda is going to want to deploy, or whoever it is that you think is going to want to deploy. I think it creates some interesting counterplay. And it is going to take 3 to 6, however many shots with a strike team to kill an expensive hero, right?
Mhm.
But when you shoot them, they are exposed, right?
Yeah.
So if you have like a short trooper that has a heavy, you can split fire a pool, and if it's a white safe sniper team, you're probably going to pick the team up. Like it's possible, right?
Yeah.
So I think they have good counterplay. I think they will find a spot in the meta. I don't think it's too bad. I do have to say there was 2 instances in the tournament where it felt bad for my opponent because I got one of the games, I used a strike team to finish off an AAT because I had the AAT down to left to 1 wound. So I shot the AAT, rolled a crit and killed the AAT. I was already winning that game, but it felt pretty silly. And then there was another game where it was kind of the same situation. I was playing against a Tempest list. I had Ion Spiders that were shooting a AAT or ATST. Yeah, and I got it down to 1 wound left, went with my strike team and killed off an ATST with my 40-point unit. That's not going to happen every single time you take these out to play with them in your locals or at the tabletop with your friends, but it did feel pretty silly that I was like using this 40-point unit to kill
do 1 wound, right? You're doing 1 wound out of 11.
Right. And it cost me an activation and
Yeah.
it cost me, and at that point, like, I did end up losing the Tempest game because immediately after that, all my spiders died to the other 2 ATSTs.
Oh, no.
I don't know. It felt pretty silly, but I like that it gave me an option to be able to do that too, because say you're bringing a list where you don't have a lot of impact.
Yeah.
Right? Or you don't have a lot of answers for a particular type of unit. Getting those auto wounds is pretty nifty. One other thing that did come up, I don't know if it was on the rules forum or if in the TLD discussion, the auto wounds from marksmen and sleepers the riot marksman and the sleeper marksman can get around the incognito.
Yeah, because it's not an attack, it's an ability.
Mm-hmm. So if you're really worried about these and you play either of those 2 factions,
don't play that unit.
That's a nice little thing. But
I don't think you're ever gonna see it, but
maybe I don't know. I mean, 9 auto wounds in a list sounds like an interesting idea. Someone will try it. There'll be a person out there that's like, I have 6 riots, I'm doing it. The points on those bodies in those units is pretty good, but I think the strike teams are fine. I think people are maybe just like gut reaction, like, oh, my Yoda's gonna die.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that sucks because you paid 200 and something plus points for that. So I understand. I get it. Yeah. But I think it will work out because I think one of the things that happens a lot in Legion, I feel like we get these updates, people see it. Their first reaction is like, oh, this ruins the way I like to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is not 100% true because what we always see is like our community is very adaptive.
Yeah.
Like Legion overall is adaptive. Players figure it out. They find a way to make it work for themselves with the kind of list they like to play.
Which is
so I think
what the Wills keep saying, right? That's why they're so hesitant to make any changes.
Exactly. But I think, I mean, if games don't change and they always stay the same, right? Like that'd be pretty boring. So I like them. I think I'll figure them out. I tried the BX ones. I'm curious to try them out in Empire because I like the idea of like shooting something with a range 4 unit and then using my strike team to finish it off. I felt like into white save units, if I was forced to move with them for some reason, the black, white, like surge crit was not bad. Like I was getting 2 hits off of that most of the time, so it was still pretty decent into like the first game when I was playing against the droid opponent. I was just like shooting B1s with them and like picking up half a B1 squad for like 3 dice. Not bad. Jeez. Not bad, right? Like that feels good. I think they're great. I love them.
Yeah, I think so. I think our consensus is overall overhyped. They're fine for the game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say they're overhyped. I would say like these people that are broadcasting like, "Oh, it's going to kill my Yoda in 2 rounds." No, I don't think so. Because if you have the pieces in your list to eliminate one or two, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, like, one last thing to go through now before we start talking about battle forces for a little bit. I kind of want to just hear like 1 to 2 things that each of us kind of wanted to see in the update, but didn't happen. Bushman, why don't you give it a crack? 1 to 2 things. What did you want to see?
Well, firstly, I wanted to see Tauntauns get some kind of love, and I still think they're pretty far from even pretty far from playable. I'll say it, and I would say Wookiees for the other, but that halfway did get realized with Chewie. But I want to be able to like do my Wookiee battle force and feel okay about it, or even just triple Wookiees again, and I don't feel like I can. I'm satisfied for now with regards to Wookiees, but I still hope for more in the future.
Yeah, and that should be coming in November.
I've been crossing my fingers for a while now, so I'll keep
right.
crossing them.
Kevin, 1 to 2 things for you?
I'll be with Bushfacts on this one. Wookiee Brothers Unite. I was not super satisfied with the Wookiee update. Like,
Yeah.
points was nice. Like, that's a move in the right direction. Please, AMG, give me new Wookiee Battle Force cards for November. Like, they are so bad. Like, you play them, like you're playing against somebody and they're playing a named hero character and they're playing their card and you're like, and you read it and you're like, wow, that's a really great effect. And then as the Wookiee player, you put your card down on the table and you're like, yeah, these two guys, they're gonna get dodges this round and they're gonna demoralize you. I hope you're scared, right? Like, they're just so bad.
Yeah.
The other thing I was hoping for, honestly, I was kind of wanting Tons to get points as well. I know a few people in my local group that like Tons, and I just feel like they're so close. But I think they're another unit like Wookiees. If you push them too far, then maybe they're just too good. Last thing, I just wanted more balance in the game overall. And I think that we are headed in that direction. I don't feel like there's anything that sticks out to me as being incredibly busted in this update. I think most of the things that dropped in this update were reasonable on the power level curve.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I would probably say the biggest thing I wanted to see was a little bit more aggressive on the points front from AMG. I wanted to see like a lot of named characters come down and pretty much like heavies across the board come down. Like heavies in terms of like unit heavies, not the heavy rank. Because there's a lot of heavies in the game that you still just don't see ever. I would like to start getting to a point in the game where you're seeing more than just naked units. I think reducing heavies by like 2 to 3 points would definitely help with that.
And I think I brought that up in like our points prediction episode that I feel like a lot of those units are just like overcosted by a teeny bit. So like sometimes you need like I want an extra gun in here, but you just don't have the points for it. You just can't get it in there because of the way things are priced right now. And there's some weird disparities with like SX21 being 13 points, but Clone Shotgun is
22.
22. Okay. Why?
Well,
Like,
I
why do you
mean,
get that for 13, but I can't have anything for under 20 in my
well, that's
Gar or
Pierce
Empire
compared
list?
to not, right? Like,
Sure.
And that's also usable in melee compared to not.
Sure. I just think that's, it's a significant difference between those two things.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I just feel like there's just some disparity there that maybe could be looked at. And I'm sure that's a thing that they've looked at or considered.
Yeah, but
And I'm
like,
sure we might see changes like that in the future.
But yeah, if I were to give like a couple of examples, right? Like why is a Z6 and a DP23 the exact same? Right? You're never gonna take the Z6 when you have the DP23 at the same cost. So like like make the Z6 20 points, like bring it down 2 points. That's completely reasonable. And then like for like B1 heavies, right? Bring all of those down like 2 to 3 points because you just never see them ever.
I feel like the issue with the B1 ones is the B1 is just so efficient for its cost because you're paying 38 points and you're getting coordinate. So you're like, hey, I get an order and I have 6 bodies.
yeah.
Like, sure.
So overall thoughts, guys, on the developer update? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I'm excited. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up too. I think we're finally starting to move in a direction that where a lot of players wanted the game to be when 2.6 first dropped. Like having the new battle deck, or the new the new objectives, new primaries, new secondaries have opened up list building a lot. And then these are good changes that are going to open up list building and just make it to where like you can play most things that you want to play in a faction. The unit leader thing is cool because it gives you the opportunity to put your hero characters that you like on the table and bring more of them rather than just being stuck to like, this is my Obi-Wan list or this is my so-and-so, whoever your jam is. So I like that a lot. I think it's a good change.
Yeah, I think a thumbs up for me too. I think overall it was good.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're quickly on to battle forces. There were 2 new battle forces that were introduced with the developer update as well. So we have the Onaka Gang, pirates, all day, every day. And then we have what I like to call Need for Speed CIS in the battle force for them. So why don't we just take a few minutes to kind of just very quickly give our thoughts on those battle forces, right? Like, do we think that they're going to be viable at all? Do we think they're just going to be Flavor Town and for funsies? So let's go ahead and start with the Onaka Gang. Now they did give us the command cards for that as well. I'm not going to go through them in this chatter, but if you want to look those up, they have command cards. They're super flavorful. They're super cool. But I think the pirates overall, it'll be a fun battle force, but I don't think it's going to be very competitive.
It's pretty expensive. I mean, if you want to play Welos, they're what are they, $85 a box?
Oof.
Yeah, and you have to take at least 2 of them.
So I think it has the potential to be good. I just don't think you will see it very often, kind of like BTV, because of the fact of like it's just an expensive list to put together. Yeah, it's cost prohibitive for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting because Hondo Onaka being a field commander in this battle force means that you have no commander units in your list, which is kind of interesting. The command cards for it are pretty good too. Or I know we're not going to dive into them, but they look pretty decent. There is actually one of the cards I think you can deploy your Wheelo tanks on to the board for free if you play that card on turn 1. But I think it's pretty good. The pirates are really interesting too. They have some cool options as far as like how you want to build out the unit, whether you want the squad or you want the staff. The gun seems pretty good to me, and then the swashbuckle keyword that lets you convert tokens seems pretty good too.
Yeah, their weapon profile feels kind of quirky, right? Like they charge in there and they use their they have their independent aim. They charge in there. They use their inferior melee profile. They get to spend their aim, get a dodge, and then next round they're still chilling in melee and they get to shoot out with a much stronger weapon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm and stay safe from outside shots. I'm not against it. It is very quirky is the best word I've got.
And they do get eyes on the prize relentless in this battle force, which seems really good.
Yeah, they could even, depending on if they get in there with their charge into a POI, they can just not even hit the thing that they're in melee with. They can just shoot something else.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, I'm not going to attack your
With
4-man
relentless
core
they
unit.
can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that work?
With
Are you
relentless,
able to
not
if
with
you,
Yeah, only with relentless.
because of relentless, you could trigger both units with the versatile once you're into
because
a melee,
relentless lets you do a ranged attack. That's why.
Yeah.
Correct.
Charge
Yeah.
is specifically a
'Cause
melee attack.
Right, because I think do they have charge natively?
Yes.
Like on the unit itself?
They have charge natively.
I had to read Eyes on the Prize like 5 times before I felt like I fully understood it too, because I didn't understand if they had it when they started the activation, so they had to be near the thing when they started, or if it was after.
I think it was forum ruled already where they have to.
Yeah.
Eyes on the Prize works where they have to. It's not like they started near the objective and they'll get it. They have to end near the objective.
Okay. Got it. Because we also saw that on the Han Chewie Merc unit
Yes.
that's coming out. So it was a little bit confusing when I first read it. I was like, okay, so do they have it when they start the activation, or do they have it when
No, they have to
they end the activation within the range of an objective token?
Yeah. I think it'll be fun. I know
some people that are really excited about this one.
Zuffer is very, very excited for this. He's definitely going to be playing it.
That's a very thematic list for him.
So the other battle force that we got after not getting a battle force since before Worlds 2024, we got the, I don't know the official name for it, but I'm just going to call it
Rapid Interdiction Force.
Yeah, I'm going to call it Need for Speed.
That's way cooler in my opinion.
Need for Speed CIS. I'm not sold on this battle force. I don't think it's very good. Like, I think the core options are very poor. Like, I don't think you're probably still going to end up taking like the 3 Geonosian units because they're fast, but I'm not really sold on it, especially with like now the AI changes really, really hurting the wheel bikes. And everyone's like, oh, but you can take 3 AATs, and then you're not doing what the battle force is meant to be doing. So I don't know. I think this battle force is like, there's nothing really cohesive about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
My initial take was it's pretty bad. Like when I first looked at it, I was like, man, this is really disappointing. I've been and I had talked to Colin, and I told Colin, like, yeah, I think it sucks pretty bad. I still will probably end up trying it at some point. I bought 4 boxes of the bikes, and I think I have 2 that are painted and built. And then I have another 2 that are like pretty much almost done. So I'm going to finish them up, and I'll probably take it to a tournament at some point. I think what I'm going to try is, since I get that advantage token that gives me speed 3 on all my vehicles for the first round, I might just go like a really aggressive skew and go like 4 of the bikes and then like 4 flamers, or 3 flamers, 3 spider flamers, so that everything can just move speed 3 round 1 and then be in really close. I think it's a skew list, if anything. Like, you're trying to force a primary that your opponent doesn't want to play. I just don't know. You can't get, the other issue is you cannot get above 12 activations with the way the Force Org currently sits if you're doing the 4-wheel bikes, because your core units cost between 55 and 60 points base. So it's pretty hard to get above 11 or 12 activations with the way it currently is. So I just don't see how you'll be able to do that. But moving 3 times at speed 3 with the bikes on some objectives might be really good.
Not bad.
I mean, but those bikes die so fast.
Yeah,
in my experience, like every time I've played those things with and against them, they've literally died in 2 attacks.
Right. The one unknown with this is whether or not Trench is going to bring something to it that maybe powers it up a little bit more. I agree with you. I think it's like medium level. I don't know if it's a competitive battle force. It looks like a fun battle force.
Yeah.
And I was kind of wondering, looking at these 2 battle forces, something that kind of occurred to me when I was looking at them was maybe something that they're doing with battle forces now that is like an unspoken thing, is they don't want an era like where Blizzard Force dominated for as long as it did,
where EXD did the same
or
thing.
Fiber First or EXD. So maybe what they're trying to do is maybe curb the power level of newer battle forces that we're going to see maybe over the next couple
More cautious releases.
I don't know, years, months. Yeah, so maybe they're being a little more cautious. I mean, this is kind of cool. I do like if you take a BX that it infiltrates, that's kind of interesting. So my thinking was, if I can put my whole list in my opponent's face like turn 1, turn 2, and then get some strong attrition going, then maybe I could do something with it. But like you said, Colin, the wheel bikes, so far in my experience, they're not as tanky as they might appear. Like, there are just 6 wounds of red saves that if you fail, like, and lose half the model, and then if you lose half the unit now, one of your actions is going to be eaten up by that AI dodge. Yeah. So I just don't know. I was really hoping that it was going to, if you had 6 core slots, this list gets a lot more reasonable. But because you only are limited to 3, it's tough. But I do feel like maybe bringing the BXs is better because you get 7 special forces tokens in your bag. I don't know. I'm not sure. So I need to just like put a list together of it, play a couple games with it, see if it's any good. And sometimes I like to play stuff that's just fun.
I see some good potential for this for a low act list. Maybe not like clone low, but like 9 to 10 can still slap. 9 to 10, you could still win with that.
There may be a world where that triple AAT variant is pretty good.
I am scared of triple AAT for sure. A single AAT is very painful on my saber tanks. Yeah. The impact and critical from both shots, and it ignores my dodges. It's brutal.
Yeah. The list I was trying to make was I was going to try to get like an AAT Greg, a couple wheel bikes, and then fit everything in, but you don't have the cheap activations of like a B1 in this list. Because like I said, your cheapest core unit is 55 points. So that's going to eat up 100. Even if you do 3 of the Geos, that's 165 points just in the Geos. So
Geos are crazy good, dude.
Well,
these ones are bad,
ones are
though, 'cause
not
this
good.
is a special issue unit. So the ones that are in this
Special
list,
issue, interesting.
so they're 55 points. They surge hit, surge block, only a single dice for their attack.
And they
never
don't get access
mind.
to heavies either. They're locked to 4-man
What
units.
Yeah,
the
they have
heck
no
is
no
this?
upgrades available on this unit at all. It's
They have
bad.
free
Like,
repair. That's
actively
why.
bad.
They have free repair
built in.
1.
But it's
1.
built in.
Yeah.
It's repair that's
So what?
baked in.
So what? Sure. So these white save, surging white save units are going to chase my wheel bikes down the battlefield, repair 1, and
Well, yeah, 'cause
restore a bike to
they're
my
they're
bike
just
unit.
as fast as the wheel bikes, nearly.
Yeah,
They
but then
are.
they
They
immediately
are.
get 1 shot.
Yes.
And then they immediately get
Facts.
1 shot by your opponent's thing that's standing
Absolutely.
there, or they shoot the bike that you just restored
Absolutely.
something onto.
They can hide
Just-
behind
I-
those still, at least.
Yes, there may be something to it that I'm just not seeing, but I haven't.
Like, I think you're legitimately better off taking like 2 of them and then like a beefed out BX and just having those 2 like
Yeah.
babysit the BX and repair BX models.
The list I saw on Longshanks that I think 2 won in an event this weekend. I think they had 2 of the Geos, and then they had 1 BX with the Dioxys Mine and a sword. Because I think that's like the cheapest BX that you can make that probably is like effective. And it does infiltrate. So you can like put it somewhere like, hey, I'm gonna run into this thing, stick here and try to do some stuff. But I don't know. It's interesting. I think giving all your vehicles speed 3 is really interesting. But I think there's a condition for how you have to trigger getting the advantage again too. I think it has to what does it say?
You pick one of your 2 options, whether it's your heavy droid troopers or your vehicles, to start with a game with it. And then the only other way that you get them is if the unit moves 3 times in a single turn, you get 1 for that unit. If you played a lower pip than your opponent, you get 3 to put on units. And then if you played the same pip, you only get 1 to put on units.
Yeah, and that's where I think it's like, well, if I'm not, I have to be a lower card than my opponent every single time to keep the speed 3 movement going on the wheel bikes, and that's not going to happen.
I don't think
every
you can
time.
stack the advantage tokens on the units either. I think once they have an advantage token, they can't get it again. And they only get to get it if they've used it.
Yeah, because it says without an advantage token in the special rules. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, we are
Let's
running a
move on.
little long, so do we think we can do the Californication segment, or I think at this point
Yeah, I'll just do it real quick. There's not much for Californication this week. Pretty much just played that small tournament. It went pretty well. We have a couple events coming up this month. Reach out to me on the LA Legion Discord if you're curious or you want to know Titan's dates, anything like that. But other than that, let's move on to the conclusion segment.
I mean, real quick, anything coming out of your neck of the woods, Bushman?
Not tournament wise or anything, nothing particular. I'm not much of a TO myself these days.
Well, we can start going ahead and wrapping this thing up. So we had a poll at the end of the last episode where we were making the poll in advance to the changes. So we asked, which faction did the community think came out on top of the update? And majority vote was actually Empire.
Yeah.
I'm calling it now. You all are wrong.
I
It's
actually
Rebels.
think it's Rebels.
I'm calling it now.
I just think that they got more out of this with the update than Empire did, because like Empire already got their goodies with Imperial High Command and probes.
Yeah, but the stuff Rebels got, everyone else also got, right?
Telling you that 15-act Tauntaun list, you're not gonna like it.
That
You're
stuff
not
was
gonna like
before
it.
the update, though, right? To your point.
Well, I saw Dash's list yesterday. He had Haunton, Cassian, Luke SX Rebel Trooper, and Jin Rebel Trooper all on the same list with sniper teams. That doesn't sound fun to me, but we'll see.
All right. And so the new poll for this episode is going to be, What does the community think on strike teams? Is it good for the game, bad for the game? Is everyone kind of indifferent about it? So we're going to be putting that up on our Discord and our YouTube once this episode goes live. You guys have anything else to kind of close on?
I guess, yeah, before I forget like a fifth time tonight, I am starting a new podcast with my friends Nathan Nicholson and Brian Bear. So be on the lookout for Nerf Herders podcast. We should have an intro video out by the time this episode is released.
Yeah, and maybe we can get our editors to maybe a link in the description or something. The link to your podcast.
Thanks, editors. You guys work hard.
Thanks, editors. But all right. Thanks for coming in and chatting with us. Thank you, Bushman, for taking the time out of your day on the opposite side of the country to have a late night and chat with us.
Of course, it's fun.
More competitive deep dives into Legion and the updates. So thanks, everyone, for listening. This is Inferno Squad, signing off.
This has been Inferno Squad Chatter. Find us on Discord, Instagram, and Facebook to engage with our team.
Defiance will be the death of you.